So, what if I told you that success has a source code, like a hidden operating system that the world's highest achievers use to get these just incredible results? Well, today, we're going to crack it open. And it really all boils down to this one question. What is the actual secret to having unlimited power over your own life? Is it about money, who you know, or is it something else entirely? See, most of us grow up believing that success is like catching lightning in a bottle. Some magical gift that only a few lucky people get. But the core insight we're diving into today just completely shatters that idea. It says success isn't a gift, it's a system. It's a strategy that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and apply. So, first things first, let's dive in and tack on the biggest obstacle that gets in our way, this whole myth of success. You look at these giants, these titans of industry, and it's so easy to just think, wow, they were just born different, right? That they had some kind of untouchable genius. And we put them up on this pedestal, which, let's be honest, conveniently lets us off the hook for trying to achieve that same level of impact. But here's the kicker. The truth is, their one gift is something any of us can build. It's not about having some brilliant idea. It's about the relentless grinding drive to execute on that idea. It's about taking massive, consistent action. So how on earth do they do that? Well, they do it by mastering the very first fundamental tool of personal power, understanding, and more importantly, directing their own state. Your state, that's your reality from moment to moment. Think about it. Have you ever had one of those days where you felt absolutely unstoppable, where everything just clicks into place? That's a resourceful state. And what about those days where you feel totally paralyzed by doubt, an unresourceful one? The big takeaway here is that this isn't random. You can actually control it. Okay, take a look at this. What do you see? An old woman, maybe looking down to the left? Or do you see a young woman turning her head away? The lines on the page are exactly the same. They haven't changed at all. The only thing that changes is your focus, your internal representation. And this is a perfect illustration of how your experience is literally determined by the state you're in. So, this is the crucial point right here. Life isn't really about the events that happen to you. It's about the meaning you give those events. Two people can face the exact same setback. For one, it's a crushing, world-ending failure. For the other, it's a vital lesson, a piece of feedback. The event itself is neutral. Your interpretation is everything. And if you want a powerful, real-world example, just look at the story of W. Mitchell. After a horrific motorcycle accident and then a plane crash on top of that, most people would have just given up. But he chose a state of resourcefulness. He decided his circumstances were not going to define him. And he went on to become this massive success. He mastered his inner world. And you know what? The outer world had no choice but to follow. Which, of course, leads to the ultimate question. If your state controls your ability to take action, then what controls your state? What is the master switch for human behavior? Well, it turns out it's the most powerful force in the universe. Belief. Your beliefs are the command center. They're like the governor on an engine. They set the limits. They are the direct orders you give to your nervous system, and they determine what is possible or impossible for you before you even take the first step. This, right here, this is the source code we've been looking for. Seriously, our beliefs don't just influence our reality, they literally create it. They're the filter, the lens through which we see every single thing, which controls what we see, how we feel, and ultimately what we do. So what about this number, 1009? What could that possibly be? It's not a password, it's not a secret code. It's actually the number of times one man was told no. That's right, over 1,000 rejections. Just stop and think about that for a second. Most of us, we give up after hearing no 2 or 3 times. Colonel Sanders, a retiree basically living out of his car, he kept knocking on doors because he had a belief that was more powerful than 1,000 rejections. For him, it wasn't just a good idea. It was a certainty. And that is the whole ball game right there. A limiting belief, I'm not good enough, or they're just going to say no. It slams the brakes on action. But an empowering belief, this is going to work. The next door is the one. That's the high-octane fuel that makes persistence even possible. Okay, so we have the power of our state and we have the fuel of belief. How do we actually combine them into a practical, repeatable system? Well, it all comes down to a simple 4-step process, the ultimate success formula. This is the exact loop that all high achievers run, whether they know it or not. First, get crystal clear on your target. No vague wishes allowed. Second, get moving. Just go. Action is what creates results. Third, you've got to pay close attention. Are you getting closer to your goal or further away? And fourth, and this is key, if what you're doing isn't working, change it. Be flexible. Try something else until you find the approach that clicks. If you want to see this in action, look at the treasure hunter Mel Fisher. For 17 straight years, he woke up every morning and told his crew, "Today's the day." He knew his outcome. He took action every single day. He noticed what didn't work, and he changed his search pattern again and again and again until finally, one day, it was the day. So that whole definition of power we started with, it's been completely flipped on its head. It is not about forcing your will on the world or controlling other people. True unlimited power is the ability to direct your own mind, to choose your own beliefs, and to consistently act on them until your vision becomes real. It's an inside game, 100%. Which leaves us with one final and really powerful question to think about. If you truly, deeply believed that you could not fail, what would you do? What would you start right now? The only thing that's stopping you is a story you've been telling yourself. It's time to write a new one.